was Gavaskar, the real master. Just like a wall, we couldn't know Gavaskar at all. Not at all. You know the West Indies couldn't know Gavaskar at all.
Why are you staring at me? Just start.
I was waiting for you to start. You're normally the one who gets to start it off.
And on that glorious fuck up, welcome to the No Balls Cricket Podcast. This is
At some point in time, we need to figure out how to properly start an episode. I think it's
you know the thing is, I'm so used to starting badly that it's just become a bit ridiculous. Oh, the mascot is
huh.
back. This is a good way to start, actually. Say hello.
Oh,
Hello. Hello. Okay, enough of that. Um, Hi guys, welcome to the No Balls Cricket Podcast. Why do we always do this? Anyway, this is episode 42. No, sorry,
43. 42.
43. Beg pardon,
Yeah.
43. 43. And yes, this is a special edition where we shit on Pakistan some more,
That makes it a regular episode.
where we discuss Kumar Dharmasena's perfume.
That is a special edition.
There we go. There had to be some reason. Also, obviously, we're talking about what has happened in the semifinals and we preview the finals. So, with that in mind, let's quickly, very quickly, swirl into the roundup. Right, welcome to the No Balls Cricket Podcast. This is episode 43. We have now been interrupted by Devrat being a moron and the official mascot, and now we're finally.
What did I do?
What your
I didn't do
your
anything.
face is annoying.
It's a very jubilant face after the semi-finals.
Yeah, right. So here's the roundup. Go on.
Right. So the first semi-final saw India beat New Zealand fairly comfortably. It got a little tricky at the end, but once you put 397 on the board, yeah, you're expecting to win, and that's exactly what happened.
Humdinger of a game, though. Absolute humdinger of a game.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great batting performance first up. Rohit Sharma's perfected the art of the impactful 40s, basically.
Yeah, the bastard cannot score, like he can't go beyond 50 for some reason.
So he's got, in this tournament, he's got out in the 40s, what, 4 times, in the 80s twice, I believe, and once in the 90s. Yeah, but it actually speaks to what he's decided his role is. Whereas at some point, a few years ago, Rohit Sharma would have instantly converted this into maybe like some daddy double hundred. He realizes that he's out there to set the tone. And hitting 47 off 29 does that. He's not, it's instead of accumulating and getting us the big score that way, instead he just sets the platform for everyone else to come after him. It's like Sehwag, but if Sehwag could do it more consistently in ODIs. Because let's remember, as much as we both love Sehwag's ODI average was in the 30s.
Okay, 1 minute. I think she actually wants to go out now. Yeah, so after about the 15th interruption, it's been one of those days. Yeah. Sorry,
just correcting myself. He did not get out in the 90s at any point in the tournament, but he has 100, 280s, and 440s. That's but yeah, it's prioritizing the team plan and his role over getting a big score.
You do realize that if this was Rohit Sharma about 10 years ago, we would have all been going, "Oh my God, he's getting out in the most Rohit Sharma kind of way," and then moaning about it. And now it's just like no one gives a shit. And Harsha Bhogle even goes, "Hold my vada pav."
Yeah, I think a lot of talent Sharma jokes would have been coming out. Not even a decade ago, probably 2-3 years ago, we were calling him talent Sharma for these. But it's like I said, his job is to be going every shot that he can, and he has realized that this is the role he can play for his team. It's working, and it sets the platform up for it. Really, you know what? I think what really helps is Kohli actually, because Kohli is not unless you get a Bangladesh type start where your first 2 balls are free hits or whatever. He's not going to start quickly, but because
Look who finally decided to get with the program. Took you long enough.
Um, but because he's not someone who generally starts quickly, or even if he does start at a reasonable clip, he always slows down against spin. The fact that the innings has started off so quickly thanks to Rohit really lets Kohli play himself in and sort of bed in for the long innings. And then of course that lets everyone else play around Kohli and do their natural sort of quick hitting and stroke making. So that in that sense, the balance of that team has really worked out really well.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We'll circle around to this a little later when we do a sort of more in-depth analysis of it. But second semi-final, go.
I'm not going to use a certain word. I'll let you go down that route if you want. South Africa did everything that they needed to, which is win the toss and bat first. Apparently, we had said that that's all they needed. The team batting first could win, and especially South Africa if they were the one batting first. Instead, they get bowled out for 212, in which also included a great innings from David Miller. I'm trying very hard to keep a straight face right now.
No, look, he played a super inning, but it happened again in a semi-final. To be 24 for 4 was a bit ridiculous.
Trevor Hooper also been giving your wickets away towards the end. Once you've stabilized a bit, giving your wickets away to Travis Head was a little disappointing. They probably could have got more runs just out of surviving that little spell. I mean, they played out Maxwell perfectly, and then somehow lost the wickets to Travis Head. But yeah, their opening burst look. I think the pressure told on Quinton de Kock, and I don't even actually mean the pressure of the semi-final and all that. I just mean the pressure that the Aussie bowlers had built up at that point. I think that's the best we've seen Hazelwood and Stark bowl since the very first game when they had India at 2 for 3. And they were missing a Kohli and Rahul types, and especially a Kohli type, like stabilizing presence there.
So they have
They got it in the end.
I mean, well, Miller had to play out of his skin for that. But
Yeah, exactly.
but the thing is, they have it. But Don Edison got properly stuck.
And it
And
doesn't go suck. I think the big controversy there is Bavuma, who's obviously look. Bavuma came into the World Cup on a great run of form. He averages 47 in ODIs. His average this year was even higher than that. Um, but he hasn't had the best of ODIs, best of World Cups, and then of course he was injured and he openly said he's not 100% fit while he was out for the toss,
having
and then
said
he got
that,
out
though,
for a duck.
he got an absolute seed from start to get out. I mean, that ball was
Yeah,
nigh on unplayable. Like
yeah,
so.
yeah.
I
And
mean,
I don't think like if Hendricks gets that ball, I'm not sure he does any better.
no, I don't think he does any better either. Anyway, but then the chase was. I mean, they sort of Miller aside, they sort of scrambled to 212. Everybody was hoping it would be 213, but
The target was 213. So yeah. Um,
anyone know what that is?
uh,
No,
the go on.
one short.
Was there one shot I missed that?
No, I'm saying 200 and they got 212, not 213. So
No,
they're
no,
off.
I know. I'm just saying, were they one shot at any point in the actual innings?
No.
Okay. Yeah, the chase. I mean, South Africa bowled really well, and especially the two spinners, Maharaj and Shamsi. Hey, I have to tip my cap to SP here because he called the selection of Shamsi and very specifically said that could help get Maxwell out, and that's exactly what it did. Um, yeah.
I've been
They
right about a fair few things in this tournament.
You're still not right about Shakib. That's fine.
You argue with it all you want. There is no changing what has happened in this tournament. He has behaved like an Argentinian prima donna.
uh, anyway, yeah. So the chase was interesting. It almost looked like Australia might do a South Africa basically and choke because that shot Steve Smith played. I mean, I have no idea what he was doing.
Yeah, there were some bizarre
First thing,
shots. Even the one that David Warner played to get out bloody Aiden Markram, that was just bizarre.
Markram also bowled really well. And actually could have made that game even closer. Quinton de Kock dropped a fairly simple catch of Cummins behind the stumps when it was just Cummins and Stark trying to pull the chase along till the end. But yeah, though it was a tense and fairly thrilling game, ultimately, Australia got there with a couple overs to spare. And so here we are. The only team to have beaten Australia in a semi-final is England 2019, and Australia continue that great record, and now they're in the final.
Okay, so quiz question: how many teams have beaten Australia in a World Cup final?
None, I'm gonna guess.
No,
No,
that's not.
sorry, Sri Lanka beat them. No. Sri Lanka beat them in '96. Um, Before that, oh man, I don't remember who made the World Cup finals in '75 and '79. I know West Indies both won both of them. I just don't know who they beat. I think Australia
Well,
was in one of them.
the answer is actually two. Australia did make the 75 final.
There you go. So '75 and '96.
Yeah, 75 and 96.
Yeah.
And yeah, um, so anyway, um, that's the roundup. India Australia final. We'll go into a little deep dive on the semis first, and then we'll come back to that.
Yeah. So semi-final one.
Semi-final wonders. Okay, look, we've already spoken about Rohit Sharma and all of that, but three other really important contributions from the Indian team, and then Daryl Mitchell obviously got an insanely good 100. But the three that I'm talking about, first of all, Kohli going past Tendulkar.
Yeah, getting that 50th. It's Kohli's first ever, if even 50 plus score in a ODI World Cup knockout game.
Yeah, and I mean that was a big 100 to get. Like packed 1KD, all that weird pitch controversy.
We
And
need to get into that.
we will get into that. We have an award to give for that as well. Um, but yeah, that weird pitch controversy and the funny bit is, so again, anybody who's played any cricket in Bombay will tell you that the Wankhede pitch or any pitch in Bombay actually is always best on day two. It's
So
always
that's
flattest on day two.
why they wanted a used pitch, not to slow things down.
Nah, it dries up a little bit. It grips a tiny bit. There was, as you could see, there was something happening for the spinners, but nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
Um, and but it
It
comes
was a
up
very
with
manufactured controversy. Let's just put it that way. But the responsibility for the controversy lies at the feet of the BCCI. They could have avoided all of this.
all hail King Jay. Um, anyway, obviously Virat Kohli's 50th 100, and then Shreyas, I thought played an outstanding inning.
Oh yeah, I mean his innings was better than Kohli's. Honestly, it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
it he the way he I mean, he just never let the bowlers get a semblance of rest there. He took on everyone. Um, you would have liked him to maybe stay on till the very end, but like that's honestly not even criticism. It's just like yeah. I mean, the shots he played, he's clearly not afraid of the short ball. I think we can get rid of that criticism from him. And I think he just needed, there were shots about whether, if Hardik came back, would he be the one to make way? But I think he just settled in. He settled into the tournament already, 2 straight 100s now, and he's
I
just
mean, yeah, and as so then of course there was the second half of the game, and I mean while Daryl Mitchell and Kane Williamson were batting together, it looked like 400 was under threat.
it looked like it was on. And for once, Bumrah and Siraj didn't pick up any wickets like first up. Like not immediately. Shami came in. Obviously, Shami came in and did what Shami does. Um, and yeah, those two, Kane Williamson got a couple of lives. But they were making it threatening for a while.
Yeah, yeah. And thank the Lord for Mohammad Shami. You know what he's done? He has knocked Stuart Binney off of the best figures by an Indian in one day cricket. Thank the Lord. Record breaking Shami. Seven for in a one day game. That's wild. That too in a
He's
game
got a good.
where they made, I think, what they got 320 or something.
320, and he's gotten 7 at less than 6 and over, or at
Unbelievable.
exactly 6 and over. Yeah.
Incredible. I mean, what a spell. He looked like picking up a wicket every ball. I mean, Tom Latham looked like he was a sitting duck when he walked out. And that's pretty much what happened. Um, and yeah, wild stuff. Absolutely wild stuff. Um, and then, so that's that. He's knocked Stuart Binney off his perch. And yeah, India through to the to the final. Um, this is a really big final for them. But again, we'll get into that later.
Yeah. I think we kind of covered the deep dive in Australia, South Africa. It's like, yeah, basically Australia's new ball bowlers started off really well. South Africa couldn't really deal with that kind of with that sustained pressure that those two built up. I think it was really good captaincy from Cummins as well to extend their spells to 6 overs, because each of them got a wicket in the last over of their opening spell. So what could have been 2 down would have been 4 down. Sorry, what could have been 2 down ended up being 4 down. And that, I think, that made a big difference. Yeah. The call to bring Travis Head on again, another one. I mean, I think Miller and Klassen should have done better, but also,
I'll tell you what happened there. I'll tell you what happened there very appropriately. When you're playing international cricket, you don't expect to face club quality bowlers.
yeah, and it's also you. I mean, they, having had to consolidate for so long, they wanted to finally start building up the scoring rate again, and they see Travis Head as someone they can do that against, and that leads to you getting wickets as well. But
Yeah, but okay. So he starts off bowling a couple of pies, gets away with it, and then he bowls a straight ball that doesn't spin. Now, how do you can't how, you can't prepare for that shit?
yeah, and getting Marco Jansen first up, I mean, the big.
Yeah,
Yeah, that probably made the difference about like 20-30 runs right there, and that could have been the game. Um, yeah. That being said, they did a good job to stretch it out to 212, given that they lost their sixth wicket at 119. Um, I
I
also
actually
want
thought
to say on the other side, sorry, go on.
I actually thought at that point, right, Kutsir's wicket was really important because he was starting to go as well.
Yeah, it was. And Katsia's kind of, like in T20 leagues, he's been a little bit of an all-rounder. He can be a late order hitter. So, the way he was consolidating there, he was maybe readying to launch. Um,
He's
yeah,
definitely
that
a
was
good.
also,
I'll give him that. He's definitely a good number 8,
yeah, exactly.
and he's a good enough
India,
bowler. So I think they have
India,
a.
by the way, India have the worst number 8 going, and they've also been the most dominant side in this tournament.
The funny bit is I don't know if you guys watched Jared Kimber. He did a piece where he said that how do you beat India? And then of course he does the statistical dive on it. Now he tallied up all of the averages of India's starting 11, and if everybody just
Yeah,
batted
I saw
to
this.
their if everyone just batted
Yeah.
to their average, India would get 350, and that is including the tailenders, who I think Bumrah has the highest average, which is like 9 or something. It's all in single figures, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, 8 to 11 are basically all bunnies.
Yeah. And Shami's got to be the world's worst number 8. That for
Okay,
sure.
okay, okay. Hang on. Let's get back to Australia, South Africa
Yeah.
before we. Yeah, I apologize for leading us down this tangent. Yeah. So again, the way Australia bowled was incredible, and we know they're capable of. I think South Africa's batting really let itself down. Bavuma, like you said, got a great ball, but De Kock played a bad shot. Van der Dusen kind of just got bogged down. Um, you want Markram to do better. You want Klassen to and end up scoring more. Though he did a good job rebuilding with Miller, but yeah, everyone, they are the other ones who like relied heavily on their top 7, and then they had 4 of that or 5 of those top 7 just completely not contribute to the score.
Do you know something? So Van der Dusen's inning was very similar to the way Shreyas Iyer started in the game against South Africa.
Yeah, very
And
similar. You're right.
and he turned it. Shreyas managed to turn it around. Van der Dusen couldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a big difference. Like you have to figure out a
Yeah,
way to.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I will say South Africa did a pretty good job on the bowling side. And maybe where they lost it was like actually again in the opening spell where uh, Janssen and Rabada took some stick. But they pulled it back in the middle overs between Shamsi and Maharaj and even Markram. They pulled it back really well.
yeah, 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 definitely. But South Africa's big problem in that was just that A, they didn't have enough runs on the board, and B, you can't give Australia a 70-run head start.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's that opening spell just. I mean, 60 for one, and that's after 6 overs. I mean, you've knocked out a third of the target there, basically.
Yeah. And do you know if they had about 25, 30 runs more, then anything could have happened.
Yeah, exactly.
But they didn't. I mean, 240 on that was very defendable.
Yeah. Um, I mean, honestly, they came close to defending 212. So,
Yeah. Well,
uh,
it is what it is, and now we have an India Australia final, and okay, let's go there.
let's go there. You don't have more knives to stick into South Africa.
No, I don't. I unfortunately I have only one more knife to stick into South Africa.
Okay.
It happened again. Man, they're like cursed or
um,
something in semifinals, dude. See, I'm beyond this whole choke thing now. I think there's a curse on them. I think they need to do some weird voodoo witch doctor nonsense and like go to the medicine man or the tribal chief or whoever you want to
um,
call and
I
like
feel that I feel bad for Babuma, man. I know just he put himself being a black captain of South Africa is a huge deal, and he's a lightning rod for criticism, and this tournament has shown that. I think his captaincy was. I mean, the way he went to the spinners and the way he trusted them was really good. But also, like, I don't know why he went to Janssen at the end. I don't understand why you don't give Rabada a shot to win the
yeah,
game. I mean,
I thought Rabada should have bowled.
he's
I thought he
he's
got
your
that
best.
wrong.
Yeah. He's your best bowler. He's one of the best bowlers. And I'm not saying Jansen. I mean, obviously, Jansen's had a very successful tournament with the ball. He's one of the highest wicket takers. But I think it's just one of those times where you're like, okay, you put the ball in your best bowler's hand. And who's your
Yeah,
best bowler? Is
yeah.
it Rabada?
Rabada. Yeah,
Jansen.
absolutely. Showed a confidence, this, that. And then yeah. Well, I mean, it is what it is. Anyway, moving on. World Cup final.
Moving on. You want to switch over?
Right. It's the
Mm-hmm.
World Cup final. It's India versus Australia. It's honestly, funny enough, they've actually been the two best teams in the tournament, and it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I until the semi-final, I would have said India and South Africa were the two best teams in the tournament. But I mean, Australia were right there, right? They uh, obviously they had that bad start to the tournament where they lost. I mean, they played India and South Africa first up, and they lost to both. But since then, they haven't lost a game. Um,
Yeah,
some
yeah,
parallels there actually to 2003, where Australia and India came into the final in the exact reverse. India won an 8-game winning streak, and Australia won a 10-game winning streak
yeah, yeah,
instead of the other
yeah.
way around.
Remember, Australia did not lose a World Cup game from the Super Sixes. Oh, no, sorry, not even the Super Sixes. From the group stage of '99 till they lost a quarterfinal to India in 2011.
Yeah, that famous Yuvraj innings.
The last time these two teams met in a knockout game in a World Cup was back in
So 20,
2015, where Steve Smith got 100 and India just couldn't chase down 300. Um, and
that was when we were still playing Mohit Sharma in our bowling attack.
yeah, it was that long ago. Ajinkya Rahane was on number 4. That was weird. Anyway, that was a really weird World Cup, man. I don't know what the hell was going
Yeah,
on in Indian cricket at that point. We were still in the midst
uh,
of the Dhoni era.
we were still in the midst of the Dhoni era. I mean, it was the time when we were starting to wonder about Kohli's World Cup record because he didn't have a great tournament. He did have a century against Pakistan, but he otherwise didn't do anything special. Um, yeah, our bowling attack was not what it is now, for sure.
Anyway, it is the World Cup final. There will be some pomp and pageantry. Um, let's just share and show you what's going on. Here we are. Yes. So a special blazer will be presented to all World Cup winning captains. Lloyd, Kapil, Border, Ranatunga, War, Ponting, Dhoni, Clark, Morgan, and obviously they can't give it to Imran Khan because he's in jail.
Pakistan.
Only that. How, you know what? I have my own grouse to share with Pakistan cricket later on in the piece. Let's focus on one thing at a time. Um, so look, they're settled sides. I think Australia will go in with the same team again. Their question is whether they play Manas
Yeah, I'm
versus
sure.
Stockness,
Yeah.
but they're definitely going with
That
Indian
being said,
tradition. I think.
I I mean, I will say though, we had this conversation before the semifinal, and I thought it was very clear that they should go with Marnus. Um, but that was also the exact kind of innings that you go for Labuschagne because of, and he did not do his job. Like
No, they could
and
have finished
I
off
don't
and
think they're
got
gonna.
out.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna drop him because of it. But it's also like you expect, like he's picked for innings like that, and he's just you know. He, if he's in that position and he's trying to reverse sweep Kuldeep next and gets out, like you might end up regretting that.
So Ahmedabad has been possibly the most unpredictable pitch in this entire tournament. You've had one where it.
Uh, I was gonna say it's been fairly high scoring. I mean, it hasn't been Wankhede or Bangalore, but it's been
Yeah, look, there's always going to be something with it in it for the bowlers because of the red soil. There will be some. There will be a
yes.
little bit of turn. It will get a bit slow. But the other thing with Ahmedabad is it's like you don't really know which version of it will come out. Will it be nice and flat? Will it
And
come on? But it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be 1K day where it's going to be 350 meets 350. I don't think it's going to be Calcutta where the ball will spin from literally day from like ball one, and will have that much in it for the bowlers. So I think you're looking at a sort of mid-range score. I think it'll be 300 meets 300. If we get that, it'll be a fabulous game.
here's a question: do we know what pitch we're getting? Does BCCI approve of the pitch we're getting?
No, no, no. King Jay will decide, no? And just remember, there will be some more pomp and pageantry. So there will now be, since the last time he presented Modi with a picture. Wait, he presented Modi with a picture of Modi. Is that right?
And I don't even remember. This is too long ago. And I try to block stuff like that out.
So now, hang on. Let me get this right. This is far more important than the result of the cricket match. He will now present Modi with a picture of him presenting a picture to Modi of Modi. I think I got that right.
Listen, on the off chance, I obviously don't want this to happen. But if Australia win, I'm being reminded of that. What was it, 2006 um, uh,
The
Champions
Champions
Trophy,
Trophy. Yeah, 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 where Sharad Pawar would
where
make
they
mistakes.
with Sharad Pawar and they kind of like push him off the podium or something. I'm just like, honestly, you know what? Someone wants to do it.
Man,
Go for it.
anyway, circling back around. Circling back around to the cricket. India going settled, they're not changing anything. I don't see that
No,
happening.
there's at this point. It's very interesting because Hardik Pandya getting injured has actually probably given them their best side because they would have otherwise always been playing Shardul. I don't know if they would have maybe gotten to the point where they decide to drop Shardul for Shami anyway, but instead they've just leaned into obviously they you have to replace Hardik with two players and they've leaned into Shami there. So, of course, Shami now I think depending on what happens in this final match, who wins and who contributes more to it, I think Shami's got a very good shot at player of the tournament. It's from the Indian side, it's going to come down to him and Kohli, I think. Um, yeah, the other thing I want to touch on the big difference between now and 2019. It was the perennial question even after 2019 for a while. But it's like, who's batting at number 4? Do India? What do India do if the top three fails? Blah blah blah. It's always 4 and 5 were the big question marks, and we had what we ended the tournament with Pant at 4 and DK at 5, if I remember correctly.
DK played in the 2019 World Cup.
DK played in that semi-final. I'm pretty sure.
I know he was in the squad.
Hang on. Now I'm bringing this up.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm like 100% sure.
Were we really that? Wait, hang on. Were we really that chaotic?
I was 100% right. Pant at 4 and DK at 5 in that match.
So we basically decided that we're playing 3 wicket keepers plus
Yep.
KL Rahul.
Yep. 4 wicket keepers in our top 7.
4 wicket keepers in the top 7. Anyway,
just to make you feel, I don't know if this makes you feel better or worse, but the match has already happened. You can't feel worse about the result. DK got 6 of 25, so you can feel better about the fact that you were right about how shit he was.
Yes. Anyway,
point.
The emergence
of Shreyas Iyer.
Point being the emergence. So Rahul moving to 5 has opened up his one-day career, and I've given him a lot of stick in the past, but I think for me he's the perfect player for us at that spot because he's able to adapt. Yeah. He's a very adaptable batsman. Shreyas Iyer has actually, funnily enough, proven how adaptable he is. Plus, also, man, he is an absolutely vicious, destructive player.
Yeah, once he gets into his groove, I mean, he's known as a spin basher for good reason because he is a spin basher. But even against pacers, once he's in his groove, I mean, the shots he plays, I don't know if he can do to bowlers like Hazelwood and Stark who bowl a good 10-15 kilometers an hour quicker compared to Trent Bolt. I don't know if he can play the same kind of shots, but man, he's destructive. It's a huge difference. He's one of the best number 4s going in world cricket. Same for Rahul and number 5, and it's a big sea change from what's happened in Indian cricket in the last 4 years.
Yeah. So the thing is, if you put this on paper, India should win this game hands down.
I won't go that far. Hands down is pushing it because Australia's also got a very good lineup.
But if you look at it, right, if it comes down to a flat wicket, you're looking at Smith and Labuschagne versus KL and Shreyas Iyer, and at those 4 and 5 slots. And if it comes down to just like a slugfest, we're winning that.
I agree with you there. If it comes down to slugfest, yes, because even though you've got Maxwell at 6, who currently is in better form than Surya Kumar Yadav, I think you know that Surya Kumar can do that. 4 and 5, absolutely, yeah. Like I don't know, you're better off if it's a slugfest. You're better off playing Inglis and Cummins at 4 and 5.
Plus, remember, again, you have a left-arm wrist spinner in Kuldeep, and he can cause problems for Maxwell.
He's also as good as Shamsi bowled, and like fair play to him. But Kuldeep is levels above as a bowler.
Yeah, I think actually that's the most fun matchup for me because we know Maxwell's going to come hard at him, and it'll be interesting. That's going to be a really key part of the game. The other key part is how Warner and Head bat, because I think these are two sides batting wise that have very similar approaches.
Yeah, both going, and in fact, the biggest difference is that on the Indian side you have Rohit going hard. On the Australian side, you have both of them going hard.
Yeah. And the other thing is that remember Shami coming on first change. He's been swallowing left-handers in this tournament.
Yeah. How many times have we legitimately been able to say across formats? And now we can say it, I think, probably across formats. But any format, whatever, how many times can you say, you know what? I think India have a better pace attack than Australia.
India is a more well-rounded team for sure. I think their spinners are better as well. As good as Zampa was, and he was absolutely crap yesterday.
No, he had a easily, even Zampa's one of the best leg spinners going. And
no
Even
question.
then, like you were gonna say, but even him on top form, like Jadeja and Kuldeep is better than Zampa and Maxwell for sure. The point is that Bumrah, Shami, Siraj is better than Stark, Hazelwood, Cummins.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, but so look, it's gonna come down to this could come down to matchups, individual moments, and individual performances. And the players that I think I'm most scared of as an Indian fan, I'll give you two. Are very simply put, David Warner and Mitchell Stark.
Yeah, I think I think actually I'm a little more scared of Travis Head than David Warner. I get the feeling that actually Head's the more Warner's the one. He's obviously he's all reliable. He's got the great record and he's had a great tournament. Um, but I think just the way Head bats at the top of the order is something else. He's the one you know you want to get either of them out as quickly as possible. But I think he's the bigger wicket at the start. Um,
So
Stark, you
basically,
know,
so basically, you
yes, you
want to
can,
get Head,
go ahead and make your joke.
get
Cut the
Head,
head off. Or
cut the
get
head
head.
off.
Cut the head off the stick. Um, Stark, yes, I agree with you. But I think this, having seen the way, and Stark is quicker than both, but having seen the way this bowling attack has handled Shaheen and Bolt and off color Bolt, even someone like Madhushankar, who did, let's be fair, get Rohit out second ball, but after that, Kohli and Gill played him well. Um, I think they're better equipped to deal with Stark than I would have said maybe 4 years ago. When all the rage was, oh, do India have a left arm quick weakness? Um, I'm yeah, I think it's can they survive Hazelwood? Can is I think Hazelwood's a bigger danger to that batting
So
lineup.
for me, Hazelwood's not a worry because Hazelwood's like a almost like a Glenn McGrath type of consistent bowler, and Rohit will take him down. That I have no doubt about. My worry is Starks. For the simple reason that Starks' wicket taking ability is second to none. Maybe only Shami is better than him at this point.
He's not been crazily amongst the wickets in this particular tournament.
No, no, I know, but just remember one thing. This is a one. This is possibly Stark is one of the best ODI bowlers in the world.
Oh
And
yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah,
and if you have
100%.
any proof, if you want to, if you need any evidence of his wicket taking ability, watch the Ashes. Everybody else was getting smoked out of it. Stark was picking up wickets left, right, and center.
While still getting smoked out of it, let's be clear.
Yeah, exactly,
but yes,
exactly.
but he was taking away.
But you see my point. My
That's
point
also
is the
against
wicket
that's
taking
also
ability.
against a that's also against a crazy England batting strategy that is built on attacking everyone, and Stark will thrive against that because in Test cricket you have enough fielders to get get wickets off those shots.
I think India will target Cummins. I think and I think Hazelwood is ripe to pick. Like if they allow Hazelwood to bowl, right, he'll cause problems. But I don't think Rohit's going to allow him to do that.
Listen, I'm backing Rohit, dude. I'm just saying I think he's the bigger threat to me at the top of the order than.
I disagree there, but anyway, um, I strongly disagree, and I've been right about a fair few things. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be right
Yeah,
about the same.
fair enough. You have fair enough.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. The other thing we of course Kohli has a great record against Australia. I don't want to hype him up too much because it's like adding too much pressure before a World Cup final. But yeah, he loves facing Australia. He loves facing pace in general. So, and I think the sense of occasion. Also now all the pressure of the milestone and everything is off. He can just concentrate on, hey, I'm playing a World Cup final innings. Um,
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah.
If yeah, again, it comes down to I think the that top five is a lot better for India than Australia's top five is because of the way Smith and Labuschagne have played in this tournament and they
Yeah.
haven't been in top four. Um, and again, I mean, we're talking about maybe the between the four of them, maybe four of the top five or top 10 bowlers in the world between top. I'm talking quick fast bowlers. We're talking about Hazelwood, Stark, Bumrah, and Shami. But I just think Bumrah and Shami are that slight bit better.
Yeah. So now, all that's said and done, all the talking being over,
Yeah, this is not just the heart says India, because heart obviously always says India, but I think that yeah, like the head also says India. They've been an absolute juggernaut this tournament. We put up the numbers before, and it was as dominant as the '07 Australia team, or nearly as dominant. The '07 Australia team was slightly better. There's not been much to challenge them. The few times they have been challenged, Australia was actually one of the games. But also, again, that challenge was made easier by the fact that that bowling attack had bowled Australia out for less than 200. The chase against New Zealand, then the way they've absolutely demolished South Africa in the last big group stage game, and New Zealand to a good extent in the semi-final. They've just been dominant, and I,
Okay,
it's
you're talking too
like
much now.
yeah, I think there's a better team, and
I
I
think
would
it's
back them to win.
I think it's gonna be a really, really tight game for the simple reason that there's few intangibles in big games. And if there's any team that knows how to win big games, it's Australia. I don't think they'll win it though. I do think India will get over the line. I just feel they've been a step above everybody in this tournament. And for precisely what you were saying, but you just took far too long to say everything. Um, but yeah, for me, it's going to be an India win. It will be close though. I think
Yeah,
I'm not sure what the right approach is, but I just feel batting first sorry, fielding in fielding first in Ahmedabad will put Australia off the game a bit.
yeah, and again, you're probably going to get more spin during the day with the heat and the sun baking down on that soil. The lights end up quickening the pitch up a bit. Kuldeep and Jadeja on that pitch, I
Yeah,
think should be
yeah,
good.
absolutely.
It's a home game for Shubman Gill, kind of with his IPL team being based there, so he's got a good sense of
No, I
conditions.
mean even Wankhede was a home game for him, no, with his father-in-law in the crowd.
It's a very it's a fun dynamic. It's effectively what uh, Sergio Aguero and Diego Maradona were with for a long time until that marriage fell apart. But yeah, that's basically what Shuman Gill is doing for us. Well, not for us, but in with his personal life.
Okay. With that being said, it is now time to move on to my favorite segment of the evening. I'm not doing a long intro because I've done long intros for too long. So now we're just going to swipe straight into it. This is the No Balls Cricket Awards.
Oh man, that was so peaceful.
Yeah, don't get used to it. Anyway, our first award goes to Sunny G for almost swearing on camera. He was
um,
talking. He was talking about the pitch controversy after the game where they switched pitches at Wankhede to a used one. But anyway, point being that
let's make
he
this
was
clear, by the way. The BCCI should not have done all of that shit.
yeah, of course not.
We're
But
both.
it's King
It's
Jay.
a fucking embarrassment. It's a fucking embarrassment that they tried pulling all of that. I actually think it gave a little bit of advantage to New Zealand. But anyway, Sunny G shut everyone up about it.
He was
He very nearly shut everyone the fuck up about it. So
yeah. Also, that's number one. Number two, the award for twat of the week goes to Ding 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 Pakistani TV.
and Ramiz Raja in particular.
So I mean,
You have the context better than I do, so go for it.
uh, so this is the clip.
देखती हूँ लेकिन एक दफा ही मेरा दिल टूट गया था जब वो विवन वो ले गया था उसको नीना गुप्ता को चलिए तो काफी मैंने तब एक शेर लिख दिया था भाई मैंने लिखा था कि जो लड़कियां खुद को कहती हैं मलका आलिया जो लड़कियां खुद को कहती हैं निसार साहब
हाँ सुन रहा हूँ बेटी सही है
उनको फिर मिलता है मिस्टर कालिया नहीं ये तो काफी पुराना
Yeah. I don't know how much Urdu you guys understand, but there was basically a poem about Nina Gupta and something about a Kalia in there. I'm not entirely sure what she said either, but it was a serious dig at Viv Richards, um, and he just stood there laughing. Like, I mean, he should know better, surely. But Punjabi casual racism as usual.
Yeah.
And
Ravi,
anyway, anyway, you actually should have more to say than this, but about this than me. But for once, you're
you
speechless.
remember
Thank
you
God for that.
remember our first attempt at talking about Rob Moody and the whole like who got him taken down, and you found out that it was the Bangladeshis, and you know how silent you were at the time.
Yep.
Yeah, that's me. That's me right now.
Yeah. So he's gone from being crispy to being a twat in the space of a week. Uh,
Yeah, I mean he's always been this also. Like he's always been this.
yeah, that's very true. I'm just gonna pull up what Masaba actually had to say about it, so that you guys can also understand the kind of response that we got from her. And she obviously was quite, quite frustrated and really just. I mean, it was just a bit,
It's perfectly so, right? Like,
I mean, it's just a bit silly, but anyway, here you go.
and it's fair. It's fair for her to call Ramiz Raja out like this and to say that my mom, dad, and I have grace and you don't. Yeah, look, it's obviously it's very personal for her, not just because it's racism, but also because it's literally involving her family. It's for her to, you know, she's
Yeah,
completely within her rights to say that, and it's good that she did.
yeah. So kudos to Mass Masaba, very dear friend of mine. So yeah, it's really frustrating for me to see that. I mean, happen obviously, but
This,
knowing her, I would have expected nothing less.
yeah, no, I agree. I mean, she's always been very outspoken, and in any case, and so. Good. I'm just
Yeah.
looking at the trending topics and I see Babuma and then I see Sunny.
and on the last thing for this evening, uh, you want to take this
Oh,
one? It revolves our very own Mr. Kumar Dharmasena.
I actually have one more Pakistan thing first, and then you can get to Kumar Dharmasena.
Oh, sorry.
But
Okay, you do have something.
yeah. So because we've been talking about upheaval in cricket, we obviously had the whole Sri Lanka suspension from ICC and all of that. Um, then of course Babar Azam resigned from captaincy across all formats for Pakistan. And it's been building up to that. Obviously, there was a whole PCB statement about, hey, support the players, but also if they lose, it's not our fault, it's the players' fault. Um, so Mickey also said that they're going to get sacked. He was convinced that he and Babar would get sacked. Babar kind of just resigned instead of that. They haven't named an ODI captain yet. They have Shaheen as T20 captain and Shan Masood as Test captain. In the meantime, Mohammad Hafiz has been named team director and has then named himself coach. Let's remember, Mohammad Hafiz has not officially retired. He in fact wants to be back playing for Pakistan. And he has said this publicly in the not
Oh
too
my.
long distant past. He still plays in the PSL. He has no coaching or team director experience whatsoever. Okay, he's never done any role like that. But
Of course it
he's
doesn't.
been Wahab Riaz, former left arm quick, uh, has been appointed chief selector. Again, never been a selector. He's also the sports minister for the Pakistan government. So if we're wanting to talk about uh,
Government
government,
interference. What are they
yeah,
going to do? Ban?
interference.
What are the ICC going to do? Ban Pakistan next?
Listen, if we want, honestly, if we want to talk about
Listen,
government
listen,
interference, you
listen,
would ban
listen,
India
listen, listen.
also and
Yeah, yeah,
Bangladesh. And like
obviously.
literally, no South
But
Asian
hang on,
country would even
but
appeal.
hang on. If the ICC had to ban somebody, much rather they ban Bangladesh than Pakistan. Um,
You have decided Bangladesh don't deserve to be a country purely on the exploits of their cricket team. So I think let's not get your opinions on them. Yeah. But one
okay,
last note, while we're still talking about Pakistan and Wahab Riaz, like Mohammad Hafiz, he's still an active player. He's still playing in the PSL. So both Hafiz and Wahab Riaz are going to be making decisions about the team, like as selector and coach and team director, and making decisions therefore about players that they're playing with and against.
and so basically, You know that old Pakistani saying that, well, there's two Pakistani sayings. You never actually retire, number one. And you're 27 for life, just like Shahid Afridi.
I mean, Shoaib Malik wants to come back. He wants to play in the play T20 so he can break Chris Gale's record for T20 runs. And I think he's like 2,000 off, but whatever.
Damade-Hind for the win. Anyway, and finally, for those of you who want to smell like an umpire, there you go.
Kumar Dhanasena, after the World Cup ends, will be launching his own perfume brand.
Unandua.
That's Kumar. In related news, I don't know which, but Kumar Dhanasena is not one of the umpires for the World Cup final.
Wow, he looks very posh in that, doesn't he?
I mean, listen, he was an international cricketer and then has been an umpire for a very long time. I'm sure he's made his money. That is not an insinuation of corruption. I'm just saying he's been in lucrative careers. That's all I mean. All I meant.
So speaking of funny smelling things, that is how we're going to end this funny smelling episode. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, say cheese, hit the bell icon, go back to East Bengal, blah blah blah. Thank you very much for watching.
It was Gavaskar, the real master, just like a wall. We couldn't know Gavaskar at all, not at all. You know the West Indies couldn't know Gavaskar at all.